Snetterton for the final weekend of racing in the 2019 Mini Challenge Championship. I'm Michelle Livings. I'm bringing you 3 live races today. We begin with the Cooper S, a small but mighty class. The R53s pitting themselves against the R56. Current class leader Dan Butcherlord is sitting on pole. So let's go racing. It's over to Richard.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Welcome everybody. We've got a superb race in prospect here with Daniel Butcherlord, by my reckoning, in with a shout at wrapping up the championship in race number 1. After qualifying, he is 53 points clear in the championship of Rob Austin. Neither of them will drop scores. They've both had non-finishes which wipe out the drop score scenario, which can be a little bit complicated, but there are 56 points available after this race, and we'll talk more about the point scenario as the race gets underway. The grid looks like this. It is Daniel Butcherlord on pole position, Rob Austin is P2, and then on row 2 Stuart McLaren and Sammy Bowler. Following Sammy is Alan Lee in the 190 car just going through shot, then Keir McConomy and Steve Webb in 231, who we're looking at now. Steve, the driver from Guildford in Surrey, privateer. Small but perfectly formed grid that we have here for you. And Steve Webb has had a best result so far this year of 4th position, last time out at Donington Park. So might be on a little bit of a run as we head down in towards Palmer Corner. So championship positions, Dan Butcherlord on 740 points, having picked up the 6 points from qualifying. The way it runs out is that both qualifying and fastest laps, the top 6 drivers get points, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in qualifying, and also for the fastest lap in the race, and that's in addition to 50 points for the win, 44 for second. So we're going to have to keep our eyes, as we focus there on Sammy Bowler, going to have to keep our eyes on the fastest lap scenario. We don't have a feed to indicate the top 6 fastest laps, unfortunately, so there is going to have to be a little bit of a provisional specification to mathematics here, and equally it would be difficult for the championship coordinator to call that as we go along as well. We do get a driver's best lap though, so we'll know whether Dan Butcherlord, for example, is quicker on his best lap than Rob Austin. That's the main story that we need to focus on over the course of this first race of the weekend for the Cooper S's. We've got 2 races for each of the 3 classes this weekend, so it's a little bit of a mini festival for you this weekend for our fans, and good to have your company here. If you are on social media, then ping out a shout, and you might have other people in the vicinity that want to watch it in your social circle, which would be good to see. So Dan Butcherlord, who's had a super season thus far, a couple of blips, 2nd position in round 12 at Donington Park, 2nd position here at Snetterton on the 11th of May was the last visit, but other than that has got clear. But how much does it say about Rob Austin, who's 2nd in the championship? He's only 53 points behind, and that only equates to 1 race win. 50 points for a win, 56 if you count the fastest laps in the race as well. So we've still got 100 points, 118 points in total for the meeting, 112 now we've got qualifying, which is done and dusted. But there is the 23, Daniel Butcherlord from Wansford in Peterborough. The colour described as Pacifica Blue. Very nice shade, just blue to you and me, which is probably good enough. And then Rob Austin in the grey and orange. Rob comes from Southampton, and a front runner-up actually in the Open category in both the last 2 seasons. Will Fairclough beating him to the Open title last year, Ben Dimmack the year before, but of course Rob beat a heck of a lot of other drivers to finish in 2nd position outright in the championship. So he'll be keen to take the battle to Dan Butcherlord. Away we go, and we are mini racing here at Snetterton. It's a super start, and It is Rob Austin chasing, but Dan Butcher-Lord gets away well. We've got Stuart McLaren looking up the inside line for second place, but can't quite do it. Sammy Bowler in the very distinctive, you can see the bright yellow wheels on the treble 6 car in fourth place. At the moment, they're all pretty much where they started from qualifying. And down into Wilson hairpin, named after the late great Justin Wilson, for the first time. Alan Lee takes a wide line there. That equates to an inside run down towards Palmer Corner. Lee, who is now chasing, actually Keir McConommy's got ahead of him in the 21, the white car, so Keir's made up a position on start. The lead quartet coming down into Agostini for the first time, the hairpin. None of them taking a defensive stance at the moment, and are we going to see that from the next three drivers? Well, no, we're not. And it's McConomy up in fifth place, but runs wide. Alan Lee goes through on the inside line. McConomy punished for that. Steve Webb's going to look on the inside line as he goes into Hamilton, and he does. He goes through. So Keir McConomy drops back into seventh position. He'll be disappointed with that. Made up one place on the start and then loses a couple of places on the infield with that wide moment. Lead quartet starting to get away. Sammy Bowler is going to be keen to try and keep the third place car of Stuart McLaren firmly within her sights. McLaren, the 2017 Cooper Am champion, beat Chris Middleton and Andy Godfrey to the title, but it's Dan Butcher-Lord who leads them around and down through Bombhole for the first time. Sammy Bowler, as I mentioned in our coverage at the Mini Festival, which was at Brands Hatch in the summer, is the sister of leading British Truck Racing Association driver John Bowler, and Sammy will no doubt be supporting John in the finale, which takes place on another MSV circuit, Brands Hatch, the first weekend in November. But Rob Austin putting big pressure here on the race leader as they go along centre straight for the first time. Rob Austin looking to try and close down on Dan Butcher-Lord. We've got a good battle on for third as well. Place your bets which one's going to get racier, and Rob Austin is very close indeed, but at the moment, well, he looks a lot closer as we get the camera side onto it. You can see it's 4 or 5 lengths, so it looks to me like Butcher-Lord has got the run down the straight to pull away, and as they come into the hairpin for the second time, you can see he's got a decent gap, and Sammy Bowler's through on the inside line for third place. Superb stuff from Bowler, put a big amount of pressure there on the number 12 car to go through. So McLaren ran wide, but he's got the inside line as a result of running wide. Inside line for the left-hander at Palmer, and he's back into third place, but Bowler goes side by side, not quite with him, still right behind. Sammy's going to have a look down the inside line as they come again into Agostini for the second time. Super race on for third position here, and it's also the squabble for third place in the championship. So Bowler, similar livery to Brothers Truck, which is quite handy for us, and John's been one of the revelations of this year's season in Division 2 in the Truck Championship. I did have a look around the paddock to see if I could see him. I'm not sure if he's here this weekend supporting Sammy's effort. He may well be working, because when John's racing, Sammy is very often hauling trucks around. So it might be that he's reciprocating that this weekend, but I'll try and find out for you for tomorrow's race. But the number of the beast, 666, fourth position here. Busy chasing Stuart McLaren. What a character Stuart is. Out front, Dan Butcher-Lord starting to develop a little bit of a gap over Rob Austin in second. McLaren still coming under pressure. Bowler working hard, you can see, working the racing line there to close in on the third place man. And once she gets close enough, she'll then think about where she can make the move. Superb shot, she goes through Bombhole, still chasing McLaren in third. Those two, of course, battling hard, and that will just drop them away a little bit from the two race leaders. Super shot of them coming round Coram. Sammy looking the racier of the two and goes round the outside line, which is the inside up into Murray's. Could she hang on to it? She runs a little bit wide. McLaren's coming back, gets a better run out of Murray's and speeds past her. Superb race for third position. Up across the line to complete lap 2. Butcher-Lord leads, but it's a fine fight for third. And Sammy's back down in third. What a race she's having with Stuart McLaren here. A super way to get our mini racing underway. And Sammy Bowler again having a look down into Riches, the 90-degree right-hander. Little bit of clattering on the curb. Sadly off goes Alan Lee from 6th position. So Alan out of it as we rejoin the scrap for third place. Fastest flying lap, unsurprisingly, Dan Butcher-Lord. He's going to pick up the 6 points for fastest lap. Austin at the moment has got the second fastest lap, so Austin drops a point there, but we need to watch the battle between Butcher-Lord and Austin points-wise, 50-44, which is 6-point differential in terms of their finishing places. And remember, there are only 56 points available for the last race of the year. So by my maths, Butcher-Lord only needs to pull out 3 points on... well, looks like Alan sadly has got the kettle on. I hope that'll be sorted out. The Aaron Reeve prepared car, an early end to his racing. They've got an overnighter on there to get that car back out as we rejoin the battle for third place. And I'll recap points-wise. Dan Butcher-Lord only needs to, by my maths, take 3 points out of Rob Austin in this race to provisionally secure the championship. If I've got that wrong, I apologise profusely to the championship coordinators, but we'll work with the maths that we've got here and hopefully confirm some more for you later on. McLaren then coming down into Brundle, the right-hander. It sweeps round into the left at Nelson, and you can see McLaren just clattered the curb a little bit there. Doesn't unsettle the car too much, but Sammy Bowler all over the back of him again. This is a super race between these two. Bowler slightly tighter there as they go through Bombhole. Will tee up. This is where she used the outside line on the exit of Coram a lap ago to try and come through. Again, she's exploring the outside line, which tees up the inside, lifts the wheel on the back, is quick there. If she, just watching the fact that she did a different line there, the more traditional racing line through Murray's, and that affords her much more momentum down the straight, not losing anything at all on Stuart McLaren. He is the man under pressure at the moment. McLaren, who is based in Cambridge, the Mad for Mini entry, still there in third place. It's 1.5 seconds, incidentally, the gap between Butcher-Lord and Austin. I need to keep my eyes on the time clock as well. We've got 7:44 on the race. We are already virtually halfway through. A little mistake from Sammy Bowler. I reckon that's going to extinguish the scrap for third. Sammy, a driver with bags and bags of promise racing-wise. Said that at the Mini Festival, and she was trying really hard to close in, but it means we can have a look at what the lead is up to. Champion-elect Dan Butcher-Lord in the 23 car, up ahead of Rob Austin. Don't discount Rob Austin, though, because he will continue right the way down to the flag. The best lap at the moment, as I mentioned, with Dan Butcher-Lord, improved on the previous one, 2 minutes 12.3. Rob Austin, 2 minutes 13.09. So at the moment, there is a point between them. Sammy Bowler is going to pull a point back on Stuart McLaren in fastest lap terms, because at the moment she has the third fastest lap, and it's easier for me to sort it out because we've just got the 7 cars recording on the clock at the moment, those laps. It's going to be a mite more difficult in the Pro-Am racing and the JCWs later on today, which again I hope you'll join us for. But the Bowler third to fourth, she'll lose 3 points. She'll actually lose 2 points to McLaren in this race. The championship can only be won by Dan Butcher-Lord or Rob Austin, and there's 117 points between Dan Butcher-Lord and Stuart McLaren. McLaren coming into the meeting had a shout of the outright championship, but that disappeared after qualifying because he dropped 2 points on DBL as we watch Rob Austin going through. Sammy Bowler is 24 points behind McLaren, so she's really reliant on Stuart McLaren having a DNF in one of the 2 races in order to move up to the third place outright in the championship. There is Daniel Butcher-Lord. All of these cars are immaculately prepared. So Butcher-Lord, who is racing in the R53, as you heard from Michelle on the introduction, this for the R53 and R56 models, and still providing us with some super racing over the course of the season. This is round 15 of the year. Started off here at Snet, so a bookended season here in Norfolk. We went to Alton Park. It was Daniel Butcher-Lord winning race 1. Rob Austin won race 2, so we could expect the same here in this weekend. Sammy Bowler trying to close up again on Stuart McLaren. Let's see what the gap was on the last lap. The difference was 1.9 seconds, so I have to keep my eyes on that. She'll try and close down on it. Alton Park saw a little bit of a pattern for Daniel Butcherlaw. That was the second event of the season on the 16th of June. And DBL had a run of 5 wins through to Brands Hatch in July, which was the mini festival. And then things went a little bit awry for him at Croft. They had a third and a retirement, and we saw 2 wins for Rob Austin there. The round at Croft also saw some guest drivers coming in, including mini legend, Scottish mini legend Ollie Mortimer, which was great to see. Ollie picking up a brace of second positions, but I think as a guest driver, not scoring championship points on that occasion. But good to see Ollie at that round, along with Angus Tosh joining in the mix. And then DBL got it back on track for Cadwell Park, where he took a double win, a second position at Donington Park last time out, and a win. The other win going to Rob Austin. So the last round was effectively the reverse of what we saw at the first event of the season. There's the third place man though, the number 12, Stuart McLaren, all neat and tidy at the moment as he comes through Murray's corner and along centre straight, no problems for him. Just looking at the gap between himself and Sammy Bowler, 1.9 seconds last lap, back with the leader who's already cleared turn 1 on lap 6. Rob Austin goes through as well. Let's wait for Sammy Bowler to, and the gap's gone up from Sammy Bowler to Stuart McLaren. Stuart has pulled out now to 2.5 seconds, the gap between McLaren and Bowler for third and fourth position. And Stuart McLaren has also responded in terms of the fastest lap, so he's passed Sammy Bowler's best lap, and he's got the third best lap of the race at the moment, 2 minute 14.3, which will earn him 4 points as opposed to Sammy Bowler's 3, so he'll take a point out there, as well as a further 3 points for race positions. So at the moment it's looking like we're not going to have third place in the championship confirmed, but we are going to, I think, have a provisional champion here with Dan Butcher-Lord out front. 2 minutes 12.33 best lap, so he gets potentially 56 points from this race. And remember, I said he's 53 points clear going into this race, a further 56 available next time out. So by my maths, that makes him uncatchable. We have to say provisional because, of course, there are technical checks to do at the end of the season, but there's no reason to think that anything will be amiss on DBL's 23 car. Down towards Brundle Corner again comes Rob Austin in a fine second position. No, Rob Austin's retiring. Austin's got a problem, and that is definitely going to be game over for the championship for Rob Austin, who comes at the end of the Bentley straight. He might be able to hook the car around here into the back paddock here. The back paddock entrance is just there, and it's going to be a huge lead. It puts Stuart McLaren into second. It means that McLaren will take an extra point out of Sammy Bowler, so the gap will go up from 4 to 5 points, but Rob Austin will drop down. Rob was on 6.82. McLaren's not going to be able to close up for second place in the championship, as across the line with 1:33 on the clock goes Daniel Butcher-Lord. This potentially could be the last lap. You can see the pit signals going out. The lap time's here 2 minutes 12, so I reckon this will probably be the last lap of the race. McLaren up 1 place, Rob Austin dropping back and into retirement. So disappointment for Austin. There is the new second place man, Stuart McLaren. Rob Austin, it's only his second retirement of the year, and following on, 2 on the bounce for him because he had one at Donington Park last time out. Sammy Bowler still in third. The gap's gone out to 2.8 seconds now behind Stuart McLaren. So all settled, and this man, Daniel Butcher-Lord, really only had to do the hard work off the start to get the car into the lead down into Ridges, which he did. And the Dan Can-backed Mini looking resplendent and on its way to another win and the potential championship. Through Hamilton Corner, he'll then switch around to the right, which is Oggie's, where he's going now. There's the right-hander at Oggie's Corner, short straight through to Williams, and our camera here is on the exit of Williams. You can see the apex of Williams Corner. That's where the 200 circuit joins us as well, and then onto the Bentley straight, still with the best lap time of 2 minutes 12.3. Stuart McLaren with a 2 minute 14 will pick up the third fastest lap time in the race, down into Brundle we go. Clock, as you can see, has now expired, and so it's Dan Butcher Lord. And as I say, my apologies if I've got the sums wrong, but I reckon, on my understanding, because it's one drop score and he's had a retirement, we don't have to worry about the drop score scenario. I think this is going to be enough for Daniel Butcher Lord. This is potentially the championship winning moment for him. Sweeps around Coram, down into Murray's, the left-hander, 90 degrees on the brakes, lifts the rear inside wheel in spectacular style. He'll go past the pit lane entrance here along Centre Straight and make his way down towards the checkered flag to take another win and potentially the championship. Daniel Butcher Lord takes the win. He is clear of Stuart McLaren in second position. McLaren and Sammy Bowler second or so between those. It's going to be Stuart McLaren in P2. We watch for Stuart to come through, the Cambridge man. A lot of local drivers here, so a good end to the season for them. There is Stuart McLaren. He'll actually close in on second in the championship, but I don't think he'll be able to take that. But it's second position in the race for him. Cambridge-based Scott. Sammy Bowler, the Stockport lass, takes third. A good podium once again for Sammy Bowler, and that is Sammy's third podium of the year. But our race winner, Daniel Butcher Lord, has had now 11 wins this year, 2 second places, 1 third, and waving to race fans and marshals alike here with another win. And it would be lovely to see him. I know when I was talking to him at Brands Hatch, he was talking about carrying on preparing cars for next year, maybe in this category or in the Pro-Am. There might be changes to that next year, but it would be great to see him back. A capable, very capable driver, as we've seen this year, and enjoying his slowing down. And I hope that he'll be out tomorrow just to underline the championship win, which I reckon he's provisionally got. But of course we defer to our hosts, the championship coordinators, of course, of Mini Challenge to verify that. But I think we're probably there or thereabouts. So congratulations, Dan Butcher Lord, on the win, and provisionally by our mass on the championship as well. We've still got 2 more mini races for you today with the Cooper Pro and Cooper Am drivers. 2 retirements in that one. Sad to see Alan Lee qualified 5th. He was the first retirement of the race, and then rather sadly Rob Austin going out as well. They get to do the full lap here. When we were watching the truck racing with Sammy's brother earlier on in the year, the big trucks don't have to do the full lap. The Parc Ferme is at the back of the paddock, which is where we saw Rob Austin nip into. But Dan Butcher Lord on his slowing down lap. Stuart McLaren going through as well. Stuart's had a second place of the year for Stuart, and you've got to be in it to win it, to use the cliche. He's had a plethora of third places, so he'll be pleased to have taken that second position, and that will just edge him a little bit further ahead of Sammy Bowler. It's 25 points coming into the race clear, so he still hasn't quite sewn up third position in the championship, and he'll need to finish really ahead of Sammy Bowler in the last race as the 1 and 2, Dan Butcher Lord and Stuart McLaren, take the applause of their colleagues in pit lane rather sportingly, which is good to see, and make their way up to Parc Ferme. And then it'll be the podium presentation. Really good camaraderie right the way through the Mini Challenge paddock. The next race, by the way, which is around about 10 to 2, is the Mini Challenge Cooper Pro, Cooper Am class. And lots of maths to work out. Again, I suspect our spectators are probably not doing the sums because they'll get told by the PA as to what's going on, but there are plenty of sums to be done over the course of the weekend in all 3 of our formulae, and we've got different classes as well, of course, going on over the in the JCW, the pros and the AMs, to work out as we go along. And the difficult one, as I've said in the course of that race, is the fastest lap scenario. It is a fascinating championship where the championship could be decided potentially by somebody getting the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. We're trying to keep you abreast of that as the championship situations as the afternoon continues. Just looking back at the previous R53 champions, Chris Smiley, of course, British Touring Car Championship racer, winning the JCW title in 2013 in the R53. Chris Knox was champion in 2014. Scott Jeffs, Scott Adam, runner-up a couple of years ago. That's the same Scott Adam that raced in the Resta Racing Porsches. I don't think it was, because the Porsche one had the yellow square with the black cross, novice cross on the back. Jake Packen, third in 2013 JCW, raced a little bit further up the ladder as well. So a lot of super drivers coming through the Mini ladder. And for me, one of the appeals of Mini Challenge is that you can come in, race the older cars. You can race some of the older cars elsewhere as well. A healthy Scottish Championship, which we'll talk about in the Pro-Am and JCW racing a little bit later on, where drivers have made the move up from the Scottish Mini Cooper Cup. And obviously in that previous race mentioned Ollie Mortimer, who was guesting at Croft, which was great to see. But there is that ladder that you can make your way up now into the JCW Minis, and they of course will be running with the British Touring Car Championship package next year, replacing Renault Clio. So a quick look back at the result for you. Daniel Butcher-Lord taking the win. The winning margin 15.7 seconds. Daniel also getting the fastest lap, 2 minutes 12.333. Stuart McLaren second. Sammy Bowler in third after a spirited dice with Stuart. Great race between those two. So Sammy third. Then in fourth position, Steve Webb. Good drive from Steve. Overlooked that in the race. Apologies, Steve. But from seventh on the grid into fourth. Keir McConomy finishes in fifth, and sadly two non-finishers, Rob Austin and Alan Lee. Sammy and Stuart having a little chat there as they head down towards the podium, and hopefully Michelle will be able to catch the winners on the podium once they've got their bottles of bubbly. As you can see, blue sky and a little bit of breeze here, as you do tend to get at Snetterton. But if you can get out of the breeze, it's a very pleasant place to watch racing. And the other thing about Snet is there's so much track to watch at. You can spend a bit of time walking around on the infield, or indeed go down to Corham or the Bombhole or Nelson or Brundle and enjoy lots of different views. There we are. There's Sammy Bowler, who takes third position and looks happy with that. It was a good drive, a super race between Sammy and also Stuart McLaren, who's coming up to the podium. Now there is Stuart, who will take a very nice trophy as well. That's a winner's trophy he's got there for P2, an even bigger one for P1. I'm sure all three drivers are going to be very happy. And Dan Butcher-Lord will once again go on to the top step of the podium. So there is Dan, getting the applause from the assembled teams here and the officials, who also come out of hiding in the officials' office, which is just adjacent to the podium, all up onto the top step for the photo. And again, they've got another race, so I don't think they'll have any spraying of champagne. They'll be saving that for a little bit later on. And Sammy's the tallest of all three of them. Double thumbs up from Dan. And we'll try and get confirmation for you for tomorrow's race as to whether Dan has actually sewn up the championship or not. But I reckon provisionally he's done enough. Not really a surprise given the points gap that he had coming into the meeting here at Snetterton. But good race between the three. He'll be happy with the winning margin, 15 seconds. Stuart McLaren will be happy with second, and the great race he had with Sammy Bowler. And they are going to spray this. You don't want to be there. I have ruined a few jackets in the time. Most expensive one being the first one, which was at Donington. Formula 3000 race, where I decided to wear a brand new nice leather jacket, which then got ruined by Formula 3 drivers, Formula 3000 drivers. And to tell you how long ago that was, it was Felipe Massa who was on the podium. one of the circuit commentary team nipping. That's Chris Dawes going down to have a word with our winner. And he's just, Daniel Butchlaw, they're just doing the reverse grid draw. We didn't see the number. Sadly, we didn't get to see which number it was, but I'm wondering if it was a 6, in which case the whole grid will be reversed, because I'm not sure whether the 2 non-finishers will be able to take the front start.
We are
anyway, let's go down to Michelle.
Joined by Sammy. That was brilliant. It's your 4th time, isn't it, up on the podium?
3rd, actually.
Oh, it's 3rd? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So how's it feel?
Yeah, it feels amazing. The car feels mega. We've done a few changes this weekend. I've had a bit of driver coaching. It's made a massive difference. So I feel like confident now. So.
Yeah, I mean, you were really piling on the pressure there, weren't you?
Yeah, for the first half of the race, I think I was pushing Stuart. If he'd made a little mistake, I would have had him. But yeah, I made a little mistake, which made me drop back and couldn't quite catch him then. So we had really good driving from, I think, a pair of us between us.
Yeah, well, it was great to see you there on the podium anyway. And of course, you're going to be back tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, race 2 is tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. So we'll see what the weather brings. Could change everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, Sammy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Right, I'm going to go and see if I can see Stuart actually. Let's go and nip in there while our champ's being interviewed. Hello. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So nice to be back on top there.
Yes, yeah, we've sort of been fiddling with the car still and getting there. The pace is coming. It's been getting better all year. We've had quite a lot of unfortunate events and difficulties throughout the season, which has hampered progress. But yeah, it was a good race today. So yeah.
Good. He's a happy man. He seems happy with that. Bit sticky but happy. Don't want to let Dan go. I've got to go and find him as well. So thanks very much, Stuart. And he's a popular man, obviously. Dan, we are live on Facebook, and YouTube. There's a cameraman here, so we've got to have a chat with you. You're the champion. You are the champion. I won't sing.
Oh no, please, you're doing really well.
No, really.
I know, I'm still really overwhelmed with that whole experience. First championship we've won in quite a while, other than karting. So yeah, it's going to take some while to adjust to that.
I think we've got somebody trying to photo bomb here.
Oh, bless him.
Camera bomb.
But no, it means the reverse grid tomorrow we can be really relaxed. No, the worst is out of the way, or the best is out of the way, and we can just relax and enjoy the rest of the weekends, and probably obviously have a drink later.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. So there you go. Our championship has been decided, but of course there's all the 2nd and the 3rd place. There's still all to play for. So the Cooper S will be back again tomorrow for their final race of the season. However, there are still more races to come live today from Mini Challenge. Next up at 1:50 will be the Cooper and the Cooper Pro. So we'll see you back there after lunch.